All right, I'm going to call this meeting to order. And before we get started, as you can see, there's a lot of folks in here tonight. This is a great time. We're going to do a lot of recognitions. I would ask that section 3 of all the recognitions, if everybody would please sit tight through section 3. And then after section 3 is done, then I'll dismiss everybody. That way we can all leave in an orderly fashion. We do have a public hearing at 6:15. And with that, item 2 is approval of the agenda. 2.1, changes to agenda and approval of agenda. We did have some changes. Consent agenda, item 8.21, tag on bid, agreement for continuing contract for fire, safety, casualty, and sanitation inspections is changed to tag on bid, RFP for permitting and inspection services at the request of Vince Wyndham, Program Director Purchasing. And then administrative personnel appointments, we had a deleted item 5.2, appointment of Assistant Principal 1, 10-month at Baker School at the request of Dr. Lee Hale. And with those changes, I need a motion to approve the agenda.
Move it.
Dr. White makes a motion. Do I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Second, Dr. Kelly. Any discussion? Hear none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The motion carries 5-0. So now we are at recognitions. 3.1, recognition of Miss Mackenzie Holliday and Mr. Eric Marshall, school crossing guards, for their heroic actions in saving a student's life. Mr. Chambers, I'll turn it over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Bryant, School Board. It's interesting that oftentimes we'll say when you talk about heroes, we think of sports, athletes, and others, but oftentimes it's always people who are right here in our midst. It's people doing some things behind the scenes that maybe nobody knows about. And these two individuals, Ms. Holliday and Mr. Marshall, they absolutely qualify as a hero. And these two up in Crestview on Highway 85 saved a student's life. And it's actually on video where a car was coming down the highway, and without these two individuals, Ms. Holliday and Mr. Marshall, this particular student would have lost their life. But they stepped in, pulled the child to safety, and I know each and every one of us, it's something that we obviously appreciate. We know their parents absolutely appreciate it, and we wanted to take a step to honor these two. And I know each of you as school board members said we need to make sure that we get these two individuals here and recognize them for what they have done. So before I go any further, some of you may also have a couple words.
So we'll go start with Ms. Gardner if there's any.
I thank you. I mean, I don't have any other words than that. You truly saved this child's life. I remember many, many years ago, we had a situation in Crestview that did not end positive. And it takes all of us keeping an eye out for these little ones because they dart every which way. And I can just, from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Ms. Vancher.
Well, I got the pleasure of meeting Miss Holliday when we were coming in. Didn't I get to meet Mr. Marshall? But when I was speaking to her, once again, I think one of the values of a hero is that they don't see themselves as heroes. She said, I just was there and was able to do it. So again, we appreciate your efforts because while you might not see yourself as a hero, we certainly do see you as that. So thank you.
Dr. Kelly.
Well, just certainly thank you. And just as a grandmother and mother myself, I can't think of anything greater to have happened to a child than someone else reach out and protect a child for us. And I know every parent thinks that every time they send their child to school every day, that they hope all eyes and ears are looking out for that child. And there's just no words that can express the gratitude for what not just those parents and grandparents must feel, but all of us here, because we all exist to support those students and those who we entrust those students with every day. So just thank you.
Dr. White.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, you've certainly heard from everyone, and just to say that we so much appreciate everything they do, and I think you folks all know they do it twice a day, every morning, every afternoon. They're there watching over our children at these schools, and we're just very, very grateful for that. Thank you, sir.
And I'll just finish up the comments. Ms. Holliday, thank you very much. I got to talk to you before the meeting, and very humble person that you are. But I agree, you know, you're a hero. And, you know, just the fact that you and Mr. Marshall were there at that time to make sure that little girl did not cross the road was just godsend, in my opinion. So thank you very much. And I know Mr. Marshall couldn't be here tonight, but we will make sure he gets his certificate. But Ms. Holliday, thank you again. And Mr. Chambers.
Absolutely. And Ms. Holliday, if you would come forward.
So, Mr. Chambers, before she comes, we actually have the video, so if people wanted to.
Oh, you'll come forward in a second.
And while they bring that up, we've said twice a day, they're out there, rain, sleet, snow.
That's right.
Doesn't matter the weather conditions there. Our crossing guards are very important.
So for those of you that are familiar with Crestview, this is up by the Ace Hardware on Highway 85 North. This is for Northwood School, the crossing. So. Still sends chills up my spine. So, Mr. Chambers.
So, Ms. Holliday, we have something in terms of appreciation. But first of all, let's everybody give Ms. Holliday a round of applause.
Thank you guys for those really kind words. That was too much. I really appreciate it. It was really nice.
Thank you.
Mr. Bryant?
I would like to ask all of our colleagues to come up for this, since this is, if y'all don't mind, if y'all would.
Thanks, Tim. Thank you. That's really sweet for. Thank you. I really appreciate you.
So now we are down to section 3.2, recognition of individual 2022 National Archery State Program champions in the elementary school division. And Mr. Chambers, I'll turn it over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Bryant, School Board. So as you can see, when you look out across this room, and those who are tuning in on TV, not here with us, this is an absolute packed room today. And you can think back to probably about 8 years ago. We have Coach Oliver back there, who said to us at the time, we really need to get archery going in Okaloosa. And those words and his commitment is what started archery in our school district. And what I understand is at the state competition, over half of the individuals there at the state competition are from Okaloosa. And this room right here is representative of the number of individuals going to the state tournament. 7 out of the 9 top spots went to Okaloosa. And that doesn't happen by accident. So these are students, male and female students, who are working hard where people do not realize that they're practicing the way that they do in order to be proficient when they get to the state tournament. So that is something that we could not be more proud of. And there's going to be a few other words when we get to the team awards, but we have 4 individuals right now that won at the state level. And we've talked about this all the time. And that's one of the things that we're proud of in the school district. We want to be strong academically, we want to be strong in the arts, and we want to be strong athletically. And when you can do those 3 things well, you're providing a lot of opportunities for students. And as you can see with the number of individuals in here and those who aren't here, archery is alive and well in Okaloosa. And I want to thank each and every one of the coaches that are here and those who are not in providing our students these opportunities. So first of all, in recognition of the individual 2022 National Archery State Program champions in the elementary division. And we also have one of our high school state champions who are here as well. So first of all, let's recognize Brock Meeks, Shalimar Elementary. And Mr. Meeks is the 2022 state archery champion. He's the overall male champion and the 5th grade male champion. So, Brock, congratulations.
Thanks.
You're going to wait up here, and I appreciate Coach Oliver. And then we also have Claire Gentile from Destin Elementary. All right, Claire, you're going to have a 5-minute speech in a second. And Claire is the overall elementary female division winner and the 4th grade female division winner. So congratulations, Claire. From Destin Elementary, we have Colton Romeo. And Colton is the 2022 state archery champion, and especially in the 4th grade male division. Great job, Colton. And then we have from Choctaw High School, we have Ava Pierce. State champion. Now, Ava or Brock, Claire, Colton, anyone want to give a 5-minute speech on what archery has done in your life? Not right now? Should we just take a picture and get some certificates? All right, we'll do that. Dr. White, if you join me, and Ms. Gardner, if you join me.
Congratulations.
Where's Colton?
That's incredible. Started at the school and now it's blossomed. Yes, but not what they did.
Nice job. Great job.
All right. Okay, so we have a lot of fun things that are happening, but we do have to do school board business at this time, so we're going to go down to item 17, school board members, to public hearing. 17.1, public hearing for textbook adoption instructional materials for math grades K through 12, presented by Ryan Gore, Program Director, Curriculum and Instruction, and recommended by the superintendent for approval. Is there anybody here in the public that wishes to address item 17.1? Seeing and hearing none, I need a motion to approve item 17.1.
I move it.
So,
Second. I'll take the second.
Ms. Gardner got the motion, Ms. Vancheck with the second. Any discussion? Hear none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And the motion carries 5-0. So now we will run back up to section 3 and continue with the recognitions. So 3.3, recognition of Meigs Middle School Archery Team as the 2022 state champions in the National Archery State Program Middle School Division. And Mr. Chambers, I'll turn it back over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Bryant and school board. And I'm going to make some broad comments first, just about archery in general, both Meigs and Destin Elementary. And I'm also going to ask Coach Oliver to come forward and also have just a couple comments, and I'll share with you kind of what those comments might be about as well. So kind of put you on the spot. But I do want to say, it's just like we say to each sport that comes before us when they win a state championship, or individuals when they win a state championship. Many people think it's all about what happens on the day of the competition or the days of the competition. but a lot of us know it's everything that happens in the practices. It's everything that happens in the off season. It's everything with that coach and that athlete in terms of the encouragement. So one of the things I want to say to each and every one of the students here, and I hope that you hear me, and it's about what you do when no one's watching that makes a difference. It's the work that you put in that earns the championships. And those are the things that are going to help you in life, whether it's throughout high school, whether it's college, or when you're in a job one day. So just remember, hard work does pay off. There's a small percentage of individuals that will ever win a state championship, let alone regionals, let alone county. But to be state champions, that's something that most do not accomplish. So you should be extremely proud. I know that your schools are proud and that your parents are proud. So, Coach Oliver, if you'd come forward. And you might have some personal words just how archery has evolved here in Okaloosa.
Well, it was neat going back to the Myrick's when I went to the school board or their PTO meeting and asked for $1,500 to start the program at Shalimar. And not only did they start the program at Shalimar, the Myrick's also went on to Meigs to help volunteer to start the Meigs program. I mean, the coach from Longwood Elementary School asked the school board at that particular time, that many years ago, if the school board would recognize any of the schools that had the archery program and had coaches there to give them the money to help start the program. I remember Ms. Lightbourne was very instrumental in helping Shalimar also get that money to start the program. So that's what really helped that get going, because there was the backing from you to begin with to start that program. The other thing I like to add is that it's parent volunteers too. I mean, there's between Meigs, Choctaw, Destin Elementary, Destin Middle, they're all parent volunteers. So it's their commitment to the program too, the many hours like you spent with them coaching and teaching the archers. A proud feather in my cap, as far as if I want to say these, that this is Meg's 4th straight state champion. And if I could, how many of you guys shot for me? I've got at least 2 Choctaw archers in here that shot for me. So their goal, I knew going in, because I'm watching there with Choctaw's level, that if they could squeak out a state champion, that'd be good. But they were second in the state, but they pulled off a state champion and a second place archer, whom also at Choctaw shot for me. It's pretty cool that way. The Destin Elementary School coach, I taught her in 4th grade. So it was neat, the camaraderie between her and I. And we've got the same shoes on. I don't know if you can
I noticed
those
those
kind
shoes.
of things. So it was neat that Destin Elementary School did knock Shalimar off the top, but I couldn't have had it gone to any other team. That was so it was kind of cool that way. But anyway, I'm proud of you guys, the teams, the archers. We've got going to nationals this year. That's another experience. With nationals coming up in May, we hadn't been able to go because of COVID and everything else like that. It's a big experience when you can have 250 targets on one wall with 500 archers shooting at the same time. I mean, if you guys can fathom that, that's how impressive the overall national level is. That's just in one room. You have another section at nationals, you got another 150 targets going and shooting at the same time. Throughout the course of nationals, there'll be 14,000 archers that'll participate. So hopefully this coming year, we're already gearing up, going what's going to happen next year for Okaloosa County and maintain our top stature in the state.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Coach. Thank you, Coach. And for Meigs, if we'd have Principal Bowell come forward. As well as Coach Pierce, Coach Wise, and Coach Wise. And Ms. Bowell, you might have some words about your archers.
So it is parent volunteers who keep this running. They're competing for space, they're working in odd hours after already working during the day and just pouring every piece of them into archery. And so I'm truly grateful, and as you can see, it pays off. So, do you want the kids to come with that too? Are they gonna get in the picture?
They will, but not yet.
Okay.
Dr. White? championship. So congratulations. You all help us by calling out the names. There were a few doozies in there. And when you come forward, you'll just kind of come across here. You'll probably loop back around, and we're going to take an overall picture at the end. So you guys got to kind of position yourself when you come forward. Sophie Ferguson. Not here. Oh, she's here. She's here.
Like she's playing softball.
Zane Berry, Jocelyn Wade, Mason Bradley, Sophia Chia, Lysette Conception, Noah Cook, Andrew Dyer, Dean Ferguson, Dalton Groves, Miracle Johnson, Madison Kennedy, Ashton LeBurge, Eric Lee, Marley Leopold, Lily Mall, Ayana McLean, Bryant Nunley, Georgia Pierce, Jocelyn Snow, Mackenzie Harris, Aiden Lucas, Susie Garcia.
Stay where you are, just shift a little.
Some of you come up here. Come up here.
Yeah, they probably need to like.
When we get our new. The other day, we
Ready?
were,
Everybody up this way, please smile.
the county commissioner,
We're grabbing a trophy.
I told Marcus, you see how they had it? I got it. Anyway.
I got it. Did you guys want to tell them all?
Yeah.
This way. Smile. We get a couple shots at it. 1, 2, 3. Big smile. 1, 2, 3. Very good. Hold on.
Well, you know, when we were at Mauer, we actually had to right. So we're going to go ahead and go to section, or item 3.4, recognition of combined Destin Elementary School and Destin Middle School 4th and 5th grade elementary archery team as the 2022 state champions in the National Archery State Program. Mr. Chambers?
All right, Dr. Small, if you'd come forward, and Mr. Genazo, if you come forward, as well as coaches, Coach Tanner, Coach Benagilio, Coach Stevens, and the other coach, Benagilos. Benaglio. And Ms. Gardner, if you join me.
So Connolly Burgess. Colton Romeo. CJ Hunter. Caleb Kimbrell. Claire Gentile. Weston Moore. Ellie Presnell. Ella Jenkins. Valen Davis. Katie Snyder. Catherine Reddy. Bentley Reed. London Lavarn. Alistair Ginobili. Haley Kokasheva.
Wow.
That's everybody.
Okay, so with section 3 being done, I'm going to recess for 3 minutes, and this will give everybody a chance to leave. This meeting's recessed. And we are at item 4, visitors. We have no visitors tonight. Item 5 is administrative personnel appointments. 5.1, appointment of assistant principal 1, 12-month for Niceville High School, as recommended by the superintendent for approval. Mr. Chambers, I'll turn it over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Bryant and School Board. I bring to you Miss Becca Childress. Becca Childress is a proud product of Okaloosa County Schools. She attended Plough Elementary, Ruckle Middle School, and graduated from Niceville High School. She graduated from FSU with a bachelor's degree in mathematics education and earned her master's from UWF in educational leadership. As a teacher, she also earned her national board certification. She has been teaching in Okaloosa County for 28 years. She taught math at Ruckle Middle School and was one of the academic and math team coaches. In 2001, she transferred to Niceville High School. She has sponsored or co-sponsored Key Club, FEA, and several groups of senior classes. She was a member of SAC and served on the Equitable Duty Committee. She's been the teacher contact for volleyball and an assistant JV coach for softball for the last 8 years. She is the 2022 Niceville High School Teacher of the Year. Most recently, she has been the math department chair. She lives in Niceville with her husband, Sonny, who works for the United States Air Force. Her 2 daughters, Madison and Morgan, are both graduates of NHS. Madison attends UWF and will graduate in August with her nursing degree, and Morgan is a freshman at Catawba College. It's an interesting spelling. Where she's playing volleyball and pursuing her degree in sports management. I bring you Ms. Becca Childress.
All right. With that, item 5.1, the appointment of Assistant Principal 1, Becca Childress, for Niceville High School, as recommended by the superintendent for approval. I need a motion to approve, please.
I'll move it.
Dr. Kelly makes a motion. Do I have a second, please?
Second.
Second, Dr. White. Any discussion? Hear none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And the motion carries 5-0. Congratulations. Now, you do have to do a 5-minute speech.
No. So I would like to thank the school board, the superintendent, Mr. Chambers, interview committee for nominating me, and Mr. Morello for this opportunity at Niceville High School. I'm excited to continue working at Niceville High School with one of the best faculties and administration in the state. I've loved my time in the classroom, but I'm excited for this change. I also would like to thank my family, Sonny, Madison, who Mr. Chambers mentioned is a senior at UWF, and Morgan, who is still at Catawba College, and she's on FaceTime right now watching. And my parents, Dwight and Julia Polk. Thank you for always supporting me and helping to decorate and paint many classrooms in the last 28 years. Thank you to my friends for their support, encouragement, and being here tonight. To Dr. Jenny Morgan, thank you for giving me my first teaching job, always being my professional sounding board and believing in me. I would like to thank Gerald Horton in advance for all the phone calls and questions that I'm going to have for her in the near future. Thank you again for this opportunity. I promise to work hard and continue the traditions of excellence which have been established at NHS. Go Eagles.
Just made me think of it.
Stand in the back here.
Baseball game at 7, so I know we'll be.
I'm gonna take a bunch.
See, Priscilla's all dressed up.
Good job, Sue.
Okay. Yeah. Going to give it just a minute to clear. And just like that,
Only the faithful left.
only the faithful left. All right, so item 5.2 was deleted. Now we are to section 6, public comment. 6.1, members of the public desiring to address the school board, Form MIS 5241, public input and/or discussion of agenda items. And we had received no blue cards, so we will move down to section 7, committee and staff reports. There was nothing this time around. Section 8, consent agenda. 8.1, the approval of the consent agenda. I need a motion to approve, please.
I'll move it.
Ms. Gardner makes a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second, Ms. Ivanchek. Any discussion? Hear none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the motion carries 5-0. So now we're down to section 9. Items 9.1 and 9.2 are information only. So we'll go down to 9.3, out-of-field report for the 2021 through 2022 school year. I need a motion to approve, please.
I'll move it.
Dr. Kelly makes a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second, Ms. Ivanchek. Any discussion? Hear none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries 5-0. 9.4, employment separations. Need a motion to approve, please.
I'll move it. Oh,
Ms. Ivanchek has the motion. Dr. White has a second. Any discussion? Hear none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries 5-0. 9.5, personnel recommendations. Need a motion to approve, please.
I'll move it.
Ms. Garner makes a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second, Ms. Ivanchek. Any discussion? Hear none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries 5-0. 9.6, employee transfers. I need a motion to approve.
I'll move it.
Dr. Kelly makes a motion. Do I have a second, please?
Second.
Second, Dr. White. Any discussion? Hear none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the motion carries 5-0. 9.7, employee suspension. I need a motion to approve, please.
Move it.
Dr. White makes a motion. Do I have a second, please?
Second.
Second, Ms. Gardner. Any discussion? Hear none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries 5-0. 9.8, reinstatement, reimbursement of sick leave due to line of duty illness, injury, medical examination. I need a motion to approve, please.
I'll move it.
Dr. Kelly makes a motion. Do I have a second, please?
I'll second it.
Second, Ms. Ivanchek. Any discussion? Hear none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries 5-0. 9.9, leave without pay. I need a motion to approve.
Move it.
Dr. White makes a motion. Do I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Second, Dr. Kelly. Any discussion? Hear none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries 5-0. So we are to section 10, discussion agenda. There was no items moved from the consent agenda. So now we are to section 11, construction programs, owners, representatives, business, and 11.1. Dr. Kelly, I'll turn it over to you, ma'am.
All right, we already had our April's monthly meeting and the monthly report, so we will not have any other business until May the 9th. At that morning, we will have our next construction board meeting, and I'll be able to present you with a full report that evening.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Kelly. And with that, we do have 2 items to vote on. 11.2, program number 6, task order number 16, GMP and ODP for the roofing projects at Chalktahatchee High School and Lewis School, Phase 1. And I need a motion to approve, please.
I'll move it.
Ms. Ivanchek makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Dr. White. Any discussion? Hear none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries 5-0. 11.3, TPM, program number 6, task order number 2, phase 3, the final phase, owner-directed scope modification to Blue Water Elementary School and Walker Elementary School. And I need a motion to approve, please.
I'll move it.
Ms. Gardner makes a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second, Ms. Ivanchek. Any discussion? Hear none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries 5-0. So we are at section 12, information technology seat management contract. We have no business under there tonight. Section 13, attorney's business. Mr. McInnes?
No report.
Thank you, sir. Item 14, superintendent's business. 14.1 was out-of-state trip request. And 14.2, Mr. Chambers, I'll turn it over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Bryant. And as you know, I provided I think a decent amount of information and updates on Thursday, and nothing further tonight.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And now we'll move down to item 15, board members' announcements and requests for information. 15.1, school board member travel request. Tim Bryant, travel request to attend the 2022 FSBA FADS Annual Summer Conference, June 8th through the 10th, 2022. And I just need a motion to approve that, please.
Move it.
Dr. White makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Garner. Any discussion? Hear none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the motion carries 5-0. So 15.2 is board members' announcements and requests. And board members, before we get started, I would think we should take this time to recognize our administrative assistants. This is Administrative Assistant Week, and we do have a little something for Mary, who is down here.
Jan.
And Jan was in here. Did she get swept up by all the archers?
I'm sure she's listening.
Probably will be back
Yeah.
toward the end.
Okay. Well, she's listening. She might come over, but I don't know. But if we could, we're going to go ahead and at least do Mary while she's here. So, Marty, we'll let you get that.
Sorry.
Oops, sorry.
Just a little token of our appreciation. You and Jan do so much. I know just to keep me straight is a big enough job, and the rest of the board members here, but we do appreciate you tremendously. So thank you.
Sorry.
Yeah. And imagine there's 5 board members and trying to get us all to the right place at the right time, especially in the next month. Wow. So again, we thank you and Jan for being so patient to answer that same question over and over again and make sure we're in the right place, because you end up making us look good because we show up on time and where we need to be, and it's nice to have someone kind of being your keeper to let you with that, and plus, of course, all the things you do when taking phone calls and everything. And so your job description just is this big. There she comes.
It's
So
everything
So,
from-
so Jan, come on up real
I
quick.
told you she was listening.
yeah.
I was hoping she'd let me take the flower.
But again, we can't thank you both enough for everything you do to, like I said, make us look good and keep us on track.
It's everything from computer repair to legal advice. So, I mean, they are a jack of all trades.
Yes, they are.
If you want a recent example of how effective they are, just think about the recent awards night that we had where
Oh,
we
yeah.
recognized more than 500 students in under 2 hours, and that was because of these ladies organizing, having everything laid out, so it just zipped right by very efficiently. Thank you.
And tonight, Mary saved the day because the computer wasn't working right before we had to get started. So it's their
Something
their
all the
tasks
time.
are varied and immense. Thank you so much, ladies.
Dr.
Thank you.
Dr. White, did you want to say? All right, so we'll start with board members' announcements, and I'll start with Dr. White tonight.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Mary and Jan, I mean, we know how much y'all do, and we just appreciate you, and the public does too, because I know that oftentimes they contact you about all kinds of things. So thank you all. Thank you. Have a couple of announcements really very quickly. Congratulations to Troy State, Choctawhatchee, Narissa Clay, who was named the Daily News Athlete of the Week, will be attending there. Congratulations to Deegan Kilpatrick, Mia Wise, Alexa Lawson, Caitlin Kane, and Lundy Phillips, who made the all-area wrestling team. Congratulations to the boys track and field team for being crowned district champions. And also make a quick comment about Shalimar Elementary's book fair and game night last week. Connie and I were in attendance at that wonderful event. I mean, you just wouldn't believe the parking lot was full. Parents and kids were everywhere. There were science exhibitions going on. There were games going on, and it was just a wonderful, big success, and very grateful to Shalimar for doing all that. And then finally, Kenwood Elementary. All week, this week, students are bringing in their loose change, which we all know goes to help the Children in Crisis program, and the school district does a lot to help them, and we're grateful for that, Superintendent.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Dr. White. And Dr. Kelly, before you get started, I just want to say thank you for sitting in for me on Thursday. I appreciate that. I was able to watch a little bit of the school board meeting live in Tampa, and you did a fabulous job as always, so thank you.
It was my pleasure, but I could not replace you.
No, you're better looking than I am, so you
I
can.
I wouldn't say that.
Dr. Kelly,
Is it my
I'll
turn?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, I made a couple of announcements on Thursday, so I won't repeat those, but I will repeat one, and that is about the Hope Squad. I think we had a phenomenal day with our pilot program for the military out at the 33rd on Eglin, where we trained several of their advisors. And at the end of our day-long training, I was very impressed that one of the young airmen ripped off his patch and gave it to me and said what a very viable program and how excited they were, because it's about time that someone recognized that suicide prevention is a need in that group as well. So not only is the Hope Squad making a difference in the lives of students, but in the lives shortly of young servicemen and women. And then Mr. Chambers and I and Ms. Brockman will have the pleasure of Thursday on meeting with some other folks in Tallahassee about the Hope Squad. So we're very excited about that as well. And then something kind of neat, you may have seen this in the news, members of the Niceville football team took home the first place trophy from the fire truck pull. The football team was first place over 10 other teams of adult men, and they had to pull those fire trucks 11 yards for 11 seconds.
Wow.
In order to win and beat the other team. So our Niceville High School football team did that, and they won $200 for their competition. And I believe I heard that they donated the proceeds that they won to the pavilion. So not only are they good athletes and good students, but they're also very charitable by nature as well. So good kids there everywhere in our school district. And lastly, I'll just say, well, next to last, our Niceville High School men's and women's lacrosse teams are the district champs. And much like my memory of Keith Oliver coming in and asking us about starting archery in our schools, I remember when coaches in the community came to us when I was at Destin Middle and said, we want to start this program for lacrosse. And I said, well, you're going to have to educate me a little bit about lacrosse. We didn't have that at Laurel Hill when I grew up. And then lastly, I will say the school days are flying by. There are only 22 school days left for students and 25 school days left for teachers. It's just remarkable to me. I heard a friend of mine say the other day, it's kind of like a roll of toilet paper. Closer to the end you get, the quicker it goes. So going by fast.
I love that analogy. That's pretty good. Miss
Little
Van-
humor.
I got to follow that.
Miss Van Check?
Thank you. I just want to remind you that we will be recognizing our Take Stock in Children graduates next week, 14 of those. And all of those students who complete that program do get the Bright Future Scholarship, so that's very exciting. And anyone that would like to get involved with that program, we're looking for mentors all the time, so it's a very exciting thing to do. Also, next week is Teacher Appreciation Week. We'll be recognizing our teachers. Of course, we try to recognize them all the time. Excuse me, because they do so much. And I just would like to say to the public, if you ever wanted to get out and attend any event at our local schools, whether it be drama program, a music program, a talent show, whatever it is, in the next month you will have plethora opportunities to get out there, and we hope that you do, because it's kind of time to show off everything here at the end of the year and a lot of different events. So support your local schools and get out there and see what these students can do. The drama programs, the music programs are top notch. They look professional, and you won't regret going to that. So thank you.
Thank you, Miss Van Check. Miss Gardner?
Ms. Van Check, I received a phone call, and I'm going to be a mentor next year. So,
Yay!
yeah, going north.
Yay! That's great.
I would like just to congratulate Cedric Farrow. We've heard his name several times, and he is the Northwest Florida Daily News Wrestler of the Year. And this is the second year in a row he has received this recognition. And just to remind everybody, this year his stats were 49-0. I think that's called pins, 49 pins. And over 2 years, I think this is very impressive also, it's 91 and with only 2 losses. So he is one remarkable young man. And his coach, Toby Merez, also is the Northwest Florida Daily Coach of the Year. So we congratulate both of them. I mentioned Silver Sands Prom last week, and I was able to attend, and during the day I mentioned also that the business partners were going to be there to do the spa day, the hair, the nails, the makeup, and actually it was the business partners that did the donation of the food and decoration. It was our cosmetology students from OATC that came over, and those young ladies were doing the students at Silver Sands, and to sit there and watch those young ladies have their hair done and makeup, I mean, just it will bring tears to your eyes when you watch that. But these students at OATC, they were wonderful, so patient, so understanding. I enjoyed watching that, but Dudes Day, those young men, they were having a blast down there. And there were different individuals, role models in the community, officers. We had some principals, some assistant principals in there. And the Fort Walton Beach High School leadership, the men, young men in the leadership, they were there doing role modeling and showing how you would ask a girl to dance and how to dance and what to say and what not to say. And they were just having a blast. That room, it was in the lunchroom, and that lunchroom was just a shaking in there. So it was a good time by all. You mentioned teacher appreciation, and it is next week. And I just want our teachers to know that I truly respect, and I think I can speak, truly respect them as professionals. They have a difficult job, and it's harder now than it has been, I think, in the days that I know it's much more difficult. And it's hard, it's overwhelming, but our teachers, on their hardest day, they're back the very next day because they care for those children. They truly are their children during the year, so I respect them. And I think it's important we recognize our teachers next week, but not just next week. Thank you throughout the year goes a long, long way. And I think we should, I hope that we all take the opportunity from time to time to thank them, because we see their success. All the award recognitions that we are attending right now, we see their success, and they they're the best. They truly, truly are the best, and we all appreciate them. I think that's it.
Well, thank you, Ms. Carter. And I will just finish off by, first of all, saying that, as I mentioned, I was in Tampa for FISBIT, and Mr. Frakes and I were there. And at the end of the month of our final May meeting, I'm going to have Mr. Frakes. He's normally doing his presentation anyway, and he'll give a synopsis of everything that was talked about at FISBIT. A lot of great information that will come your way. I just felt it would be better when he gets his opportunity to speak to us when he does in his quarterly. That would be the perfect time to speak about everything that's going to be happening. So with that, Ms. Ivanchek mentioned about all the plethora of stuff that's going on. Alice in
You
Wonderland.
just wanted to use that word, didn't you?
That's a great word to use, you know. Alice in Wonderland, Crestview High School will be, that's their spring production, and that starts on Thursday, and we'll go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I think 2 performances on Saturday. But like Ms. Ivanchek said, and we've said in the past, go support our arts in our schools. Why go up to Broadway when you can just go right down Highway 85 in this case? So also at Crestview, we would like to recognize one of our weightlifters. Congratulations to Caleb Crumnow, who won the state championship in the 219-pound snatch lift with a lift of 220 pounds. Congratulations to him. And if you remember, we talked about HOSA not too long ago, Crestview HOSA, and if you've been following on Facebook, I know Miss Branscom's been highlighting that program, and the high school has also, but they went to the Florida State Leadership Conference, and we had 4, 5, 6 students that placed, and they will be going to Nashville, Tennessee for the International HOSA competition in June. But first place for home health aid was Tanaya Houghton. First place for community emergency response team, the CERT team, we had Kaylee McCord and Chloe Moser. First place for healthy lifestyle, Naomi Barr. And third place, forensic science, Alexis Woodward and Ashlyn Hill. All of these students will be participating in the International HOSA competition in Nashville. And then finally, a shout out to, we have archery, we have lacrosse, and guess what? We also have a chess team that went to Memphis, Tennessee a couple weeks ago, and this was Crestview's first chess team that actually went to a national competition, and they didn't do too bad their first time around. Mr. Contry, who's the team sponsor, he told me that they had their top player was 61 out of 234 players, and as a team they were 16th out of 44. So not too bad for a first experience. So congratulations to our Crestview chess team. And with that, we'll move on down to section 16, and this is the 2-minute version of public comment. And again, I did not receive any other blue cards or any. And with that, we'll go around the room. I think we're good. Mr. Chambers, you ready to get to a baseball game?
Yes, sir.
All right, this meeting's adjourned.